Hello and welcome to Only Connect. And I'd like to start by mentioning Battersea Dogs Home, which I visited recently. You can't help but fall in love with them. Their eager little faces, their panting enthusiasm, their obvious intelligence. Sadly, many of them with a traumatised look, all thin with strange bald patches. Let's meet the teams. On my right, Adam Robertson, a rock climbing enthusiast who has moved house once a year, every year, for 9 years. James France, a chemistry and biology graduate who attempted to cycle from London to Dover but got lost in Kent. And their captain, George Twigg, a keen chess player who used to sell scales to supermarkets. United by an affection for the North East, they are the Durhamites. You beat the Pyromaniacs to make it to the quarter-final. What advice have you given your teammates ahead of tonight's game?
The advice I gave to my team was to make sure you get your bribes into the production team ahead of time, so if they've done that, then hopefully there won't be any problems.
Well, nothing's reached me. You are facing tonight on my left. Oliver Levy, an arts enthusiast whose performance as a cheery Cockney porter in a Jane Campion film was cut. Bob Decoe, a computer science graduate who has ridden a unicycle at West Ruislip Tube Station while wearing 30 T-shirts. And their captain, Matt Loxham, an air pollution toxicologist who's watched every episode of the 1990s sitcom Bottom at least 50 times. United by a passion for pop music, they are the Poptimists. You won your last game against the Larpers to make it to the quarterfinals. How have you been enjoying your time in Cardiff?
Well, we've just had a jaunty walk around the Cardiff Bay area. We discovered a nature reserve with some wild birds, and we finished it off with a discussion about whether bass hunters better listen to in Swedish or English.
That sounds like a perfect afternoon.
It was.
We're going to kick off by playing round one. What is the connection between four apparently random clues? Poptimists, you won the toss, but you've decided to put your opponents in first. So, Durhamites, please choose an Egyptian hieroglyph.
Water, please.
Water. OK. Music question. What a lovely way to start the quarter-final. Well done. What is the connection between the clues you're going to be hearing? First one coming in now.
Next. Next. Next.
Won't you buy me a Mercedes Benz? My friends all drive Porsches. I must make
2 seconds.
Songs about cars?
They are not all songs about cars. Poptimists, would you like to have a go for a bonus point?
God. Yes, yes. They are referencing God or asking questions to God.
They are songs that are sung to God. What did we hear?
God Show Me Magic by the Super Furry Animals.
Bring Him Home from Les Mis.
That's right.
And Janis Joplin with
Lord,
Mercedes
won't you
Benz.
buy me a Mercedes-Benz? I think you recognise. The first one, Vissi Date from Puccini's Tosca, where she's asking God why has he abandoned her. Well done, you get a bonus point. And what would you like for your own question?
We'll start with the Eye of Horus, please, Victoria.
The Eye of Horus. OK, what is the connection between these clues? Here's the first.
Next. Next.
Yes. Is that Rosemary and Tom? Oh, yes. Andy Deal and Peter Pascoe.
So
They're detective couples.
Yes, that's all it is.
Yeah.
These are the first names of couples of detectives.
That's right, first names of television crime duos. Didn't need the last one. Chris and Mary Beth. Magnificent. Cagney and Lacey, of course. You don't see enough of Tyne Daly. What a great performer she is. Who are those detectives?
Andy and Peter Adiel and Pascoe. Rosemary and Laura, are they Rosemary and Thyme?
That's right, Felicity Kendall and Pam Ferris as gardening enthusiast crime fighters.
Dave and Ken.
Oh, Starsky and Hutch.
It's Starsky and Hutch.
Yes.
It slightly spoils it, doesn't it? I mean, David Soul is so wonderful. Ken Hutch. Slightly takes the poetry away. Dave and Ken, all TV crime duos. Well done. Back to you, Durhamites, for a choice.
Horned Viper, please.
OK, what's the connection between these clues? Here's the first.
Okay, it's 4 spaces there. So banknotes.
Carry on, let's get on.
Next. It's something that comes in between.
Yeah.
Or maybe things that you can have after one before the other.
Yeah.
Next. So it's yeah. So they're shared words for the same thing. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's get this one.
Shared slang terms for the same item.
What do you mean?
Well, condoms and erasers are both known as a rubber,
Right.
colloquially.
Yeah.
And
Banknote and check.
but that's about all we had.
I'm afraid it falls down there. I can't give it to you, so I'm going to show the last clue to the optimists for a possible bonus.
Yes. Search it.
Yeah.
American and English.
Yes. So there are they're American and English equivalents of each other.
I want you to tell me exactly what's happening, for example, at clue 1.
So banknote and check is a bill.
Yeah.
Waistcoat and undershirt are vests. Condoms and erasers are rubbers, and crisps and French fries are both chips.
That's right. I'm afraid that was the missing information for you. We're translating in and out of American English, and they're mini sequences in a way, because we say banknote, they say bill, we say bill, they say check. We say waistcoat, they say vest, we say vest, they say undershirt, and so on. Condom, rubber, eraser, crisps, chips, French fries. We're going in and out of American and British English. Well done for another bonus. And which question would you like?
2 reads, please.
The 2 reads. OK, these are going to be picture clues. What do they have in common? Here's the first.
Next.
Some kind of fitness sequence, but not. It's not.
Next. Next.
Tipping point.
Oh, yeah. Malcolm Gladwell.
Books by Malcolm Gladwell.
They all refer to books by Malcolm Gladwell. Very well done. What are we looking at?
Blink is the first one. The last one is Tipping Point. The third one, is that Judith Holofernes?
Judith and Holofernes.
That's not it. So Tipping Point, the TV show is called Tipping Point. His book is The Tipping Point.
David and
Blink.
Goliath, isn't it?
David and Goliath. Yes, that's Malcolm Gladwell's book, Underdogs, Misfits and the Art of Battling Giants, which was actually a working title for this show. David and Goliath in the painting by Courtois. And the second one, what do you think that is?
I don't know. Crikey. I don't actually know the sequence.
They're outliers. So it's not a sequence. You'll see some numbers are indicated. They're the outliers to reference his book, Outliers, The Story of Success, 2008. All Malcolm Gladwell books. Well done. Durhamites. I'm going to offer you the last choice of the round.
Lion, please.
A lion. OK, what is the connection between these clues? Here's the first.
Next. Lord Snowden was a photographer, so when they were appointed. Should we go for one more? Next. Oh, God. OK, so he stopped being Prime Minister. Yeah. Were they the last lords to be... we had it in 1963.
Yeah, let's get that one.
Next.
Two seconds.
They were removed from the £5 note.
I'm afraid that's not it. Unlucky. Poptimist, would you like to have a go?
Oh, she been removed? I've got nothing else.
We will just say that they were removed from banknotes.
No, that's not it. Now, you were right that Elizabeth Fry was removed from the £5 note, and I heard you muttering that that was the year that Neville Chamberlain left office as Prime Minister. Who replaced them?
Churchill.
It was Winston Churchill went on to the note and became Prime Minister. Philip Snowden was Chancellor of the Exchequer before Winston Churchill, and Reginald McKenna, First Lord of the Admiralty. They were all replaced by Winston Churchill. You had the information in your fingers, didn't quite make the connection. Last question of the round for you Poptimists, the Twisted Flax. What is the link between these clues? Here's the first.
Next.
Is it types of food or is it
Could
vessels?
food, specific dishes.
One more?
Next.
Yeah,
That's
so
puttanesca.
puttanesca.
So they're all types of food, right?
Dishes, yeah.
So are the sauces or dishes?
Charcoal kiln is down.
Well, angry's arrabbiata, right? So it's not sauces?
What's from charcoal kiln?
I don't
Do
know.
we want to-
Carbonara. Sauces.
They're all etymological derivations of pasta sauces.
I wish you wouldn't say carbonara, carbonara, carbonara when I'm hungry. They are all derivations of Italian sauce names. Didn't need the last one, from Bologna. Yes, puttanesca is clue 3, delicious spaghetti in a prostitute sauce. And from charcoal kiln is carbonara, arrabbiata, angry. Well done. That means at the end of round 1, the Poptimists have 7 points, the Durhamites have yet to score. Round 2 now, the sequences round. A bit of a bumpy start for you, Durhamites, but it can still be done. Plenty of points available yet. And you've got the first choice of round 2. What would you like?
Water, please.
Water. OK. I'll show you the first in the sequence. What would you expect to come forth? Your time starts now.
4, the caves, made of the caves, also blue cheese. Let's go in. Next. So it's blue salt, blue cheese, blue salt. Yeah, let's carry on. Next. Okay, so it's eat everything. So it's gonna be something like that. Are they like the band somewhere? No, it's a sequence. So what would it be? Four is. This is the word, but.
2 seconds. I'm afraid time's up. Another bonus chance, Poptimists.
Black swan.
Would be an acceptable answer, and why?
Because rock 4, woody go 3, mange 2, black swan.
We went with how the West was won. You were right over there. It was to do with the words, and it's the endings of them, homophones for numbers. 4, 3, 2, something that ends 1. Very well done. Do you know about Woody Guthrie's song Ain't Got No Home?
Not sure I do.
No.
It's quite a well-known song, but there's an alternative set of lyrics about how much he hated his racist landlord. And it goes like this: I just can't pay this rent, my money is down the drain and my soul is badly bent. Beach Haven is like heaven where no black ones come to roam. No, 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 old man Trump. Beach Haven ain't my home. Yes, his landlord was Donald Trump's father, Fred Christ Trump. That was his name, apparently. Fred Christ Trump. What a middle name. Yes, Woody Guthrie. 3 hiding at the end there. Well done. And what question would you like?
Eye of Horus, please.
The Eye of Horus. OK, what would come forth in this sequence? Here's the first.
Next.
These are animals, right? So I don't know.
Next is 25, isn't it?
Oh, yeah, another.
Next.
Next.
Is this game? Is this? Is it like...
4 by 100. Is it 1 by 100? What are you going to monopoly? Don't you
Yes, actually.
Is it 1 by 500? 1 by 2?
2 by 500. You start with 1,500. You start with 1,500, so that's because then there are some tens. 2 by 500.
2 times £500.
Your quizzing eye is in tonight, Poptimist. It is 2 times £500. And why?
That's the starting money in Monopoly without the loose change.
That is exactly right. It's the notes Monopoly, and you get 2 pink £500 notes. Well done. Come on, Durhamites. I feel like this next question is the one for you. Which is it going to be?
2 reads, please.
2 reads. OK. What will come forth in this sequence? Here's the first.
Next. Next.
56 T.
Seconds.
4834.
Not it, I'm afraid. Poptimist, do you know this one?
2756.
Not it. This is quite a nasty question. I mean, the difficulty level does go up at the quarterfinals, I point out needlessly. These are square numbers backwards. So 4 4s are 16, reverse 61. 5 5s 25, reverse 52. Then we want 36 49, 64 81, and we're going towards 10 10s are 100, 11 11s are 121. Reversed, and of course 1 2 1 is a palindrome. So it's the same either way, 11 11s. I'm not surprised you didn't spot that. Did anyone watching? No, you didn't. No, you didn't. What would you like, Poptimists, for your own question?
Horned viper, please.
The horned viper. What will come forth in this sequence? Here's the first.
Could be. Next. Next.
Oh, these are books written by Nobel laureates from Great Britain. So who's the most recent British one?
Well, who's the most British? Is that Doris Lessing?
No, that is Doris Lessing.
Doris Lessing. So, what's the most recent?
She's British.
What's the most recent?
Two seconds.
I don't know.
I can't give you long. I need a specific
we will
answer.
go for
Times they were changing.
times they are changing.
Not it, I'm afraid. Daramites, would you like to go for a bonus point?
A pale view of hills.
There you go. Very well done. A pale view of hills. And why?
So they're works by successive British Nobel Prize winners in literature.
That's exactly right. And who are those prize winners?
The Enigma Revival is V.S. Nepal.
That's right.
The Caretaker, Howell Pinter, The Golden Notebook, Doris Lessing, and A Pale View of Hills is Kazuo Ishiguro.
That's right. We went with a slightly more well-known The Remains of the Day, but something by Ishiguro. You were thinking of Bob Dylan, of course.
Well, we knew the sequence, but we just forgot Ishiguro.
Dylan was a...
It was a stab in the dark.
and not British, I think, Bob Dylan.
Better than saying nothing, Gav.
You know, it's always good to guess when you're in the right universe of the Nobel Prize, but it was Ishiguro. We needed one of his books, A Pale View of Hills. Good example. Well done. You no longer have no points. Let's get some more on the next question. What will it be?
Lion, please.
Lion. OK. These are going to be picture clues. What sort of thing would you expect to see in the fourth picture? Here's the first.
Next.
Roll. Sex, drugs, rock, roll.
Yes,
It's going to be a roll. A full roll. Let's someone do a full roll. Yeah, Swiss roll.
Yeah, OK. Swiss roll.
We're a little more puritanical here. It's a simple bread roll, but I will take your answer. What's going on?
Sex and drugs and rock and roll.
Simple as that. I heard you saying men and women and drugs, and I thought, is it my first year at university? But no, sex and drugs and rock and roll, so any sort of roll at the end would have done. Well done. Last question around for you. Twisted Flax has been left on the shelf. What will come forth in this sequence? Here's the first.
Next.
She's the last one, yeah. Was it Victoria, the last one?
It's a bit...
No, because we know the next one's going to be...
It's when the Hanovers...
Right, hang on. Who's in Hanover? Those Stuart. Who's the last Hanover period? Is it William IV? Well, that's next, isn't it? Because that's the end of the Stuart. So
Yeah, 1837.
William IV, 1837.
Not it, I'm afraid. So I'm going to show the third in the sequence of the Daramites for a possible bonus point.
Edward the 7th, 1910.
That's not it either. What sequence are you thinking of?
It's the end of dynasties, so...
So it'd be when they changed to Windsor. So is it...
No, it'd be... Because Saxe-Coburg was a dynasty, so it'd be, yeah, Victoria, 1901.
Let's go through it. Richard III is the last of the...
Plantagenets.
Plantagenets,
yeah.
or the York House. Elizabeth I, last of the...
Tudors.
Anne, 1714, the Stuarts. We're looking for Victoria was the last of the Hanovers, and it is to do with the changing Saxe-Coburg-Gotha. What joke did Kaiser Wilhelm II make about that name change?
Merry Wives of Saxe-Coburg-Gotha.
Yes, he said he was looking forward to the next performance of the Merry Wives of Saxe-Coburg-Gotha. Contain your laughter at home. That old wag, Kaiser Wilhelm II, with that joke. So you all knew the sequence, but not that last clue. That means at the end of round 2, the Daramites have 4 points, the Poptimists have 10. Now for a pair of horrible quarter-final connecting walls, and you'll be going first this time, Poptimists, so please choose lion or water.
Could we have the water wall, please, Victoria?
Yes, you could. You have 2.5 minutes to solve the water wall, starting now.
Indian food. Roti. Yeah.
Got rotis, I missed them.
Then you've got French tennis players.
Yeah, Songa,
Chilich.
No, it's not French actually.
Songa, wheel, and team.
Yeah.
And sock.
Sock,
Miss
yeah.
sock, miss sock. Right.
3 lives now.
So this is probably a word one.
Yeah, anagrams or... acronyms.
What are the anagrams of?
Yes, you take out the S and you get a country name.
Oman,
Tonga,
Tonga,
Samoa.
Samoa, and one more Cuba.
Cuba.
But wait.
Yeah.
Shadow, string, finger, rod. What are they?
Puppets. Finger puppet, string puppet, rod puppet.
Yes.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Yep.
You've solved the wall. Very well done. So that's an immediate 4 points for the groups. What about the connections? Bhaji and so on.
Delicious Indian foods.
Delicious Indian foods. And the green group, Pui and so on.
They're tennis players.
Perhaps you could read the names out for me.
It's Lucas Pui,
Yeah.
I think,
Marin
Marin Cilic, Jack Sock and Dominic Thiem.
That's exactly right, yes. All male tennis players, I suppose you could say.
Absolutely, yes.
And the next group starting Tonga.
If you remove the S, you get a country.
Exactly so. Talk me through the clues.
Well, you've got Tsonga, remove to give Tonga, and then Oman, Cuba and Samoa.
Exactly. I like that one.
I like it now, yeah.
Samosas, the red herring for the delicious Indian food. Take out the S, you get Samoa. And the turquoise group, shadow, string, rod, finger.
They're all puppets.
They're all puppets. What's a rod puppet?
Isn't it emu?
Oh, very good. So you found all 4 groups, you gave me all 4 connections, you get a bonus of 2 for getting it all right. That is the maximum of 10. Time to bring the Durhamites in now and give them the other wall, the lion wall, see how they get on with solving it. You, of course, have 2.5 minutes to solve your wall, starting now.
Okay, so Schwarzel is a golfer. We play South African golfers, so Hussein, Schwarzel, player, and
Else.
Okay, so
Give me something
that's
else.
something we can do. Okay, pop art.
Colours.
In different languages, or
Yeah.
Spanish particularly. Verde, Blanco, Rosa, and Azul. Okay.
Try with Aurora maybe as well.
Okay. Or is that there's something in Harry Potter as well? Let's
true.
do that. Okay. Oh, Amarillo is one as well. Good. Okay. So let's go back to the golfers. Oh, there's Pop Frost. Is that a golfer? I don't know. Tian. Think about like things that start with.
Yeah.
There's also a Chinese thing. I don't quite
Yeah.
know what it is. Oh, David Jason counts. Del Boy Granville, Pop, and Frost.
Yeah.
Okay.
One of them.
Okay.
But
Aurora as well. You can. Oh, Aurora, Moana, Tiana, and Elsa, Disney princesses with eggs
3
on them,
lives
I don't know.
now.
So now we've got so South African golfers. So
Who do we have?
Pop presumably isn't on.
So who did we have before? Because we had Els in before, didn't we?
We had
So-
those in before, so Schwarzel, Player, and Hussein definitely are. Del Boy, you can assume probably not. Pop, you can assume probably not.
So it's Frost, Granville, Blanco.
Okay, Blanco.
Do we want to just...
We could try for all the
Should we
3
try
of those.
Blanco?
Okay, let's just go. No, okay. So Granville,
Okay, let's consider the other category. We've got time.
Frost. Well, it's David Jason characters and South African golfers. I'm just
Okay, right.
Yeah. So Player. So we've done Blanco. We've done.
We haven't done
Granville.
Schwarzel, Player,
Hussein,
yeah.
and Frost.
There you go, you've solved the wall. So you get all 4 points for finding the groups. What about the connections? Rosa, Azul and so on?
Colours in Spanish.
That's right. What are those colours?
Red, blue, yellow, and green.
I think Rosa probably pink.
Okay.
Given what I tend to call the third group, red and pink are close enough. And the green one, Aurora, Else and so on.
Female Disney lead characters without an A on the end.
Disney princesses, Aurora, Elsa, Tiana and so on. And the next group, Schwartzel, player.
And those are South African golfers.
That's right. Who are those golfers?
Charles Schwartzel, Gary player, Frost, I don't know, Retief Hoosen.
That's right, David Frost
David
is that golfer. And the last one, Blanco, Pop, Delboy, Granville.
All played by David Jason.
They are. Who's Blanco?
I haven't the foggiest, actually.
Blanco Webb in Porridge. I think you worked out when you were down to the last 3 lives that you could try all 3 of the options.
yeah.
And it was third time lucky. So you get all 4 points for the connections as well, and you get a bonus of 2 for getting it all right. That's a maximum of 10. Let's have a look at the overall scores. The Durhamites have 14 points, the Poptimists have 20. So you've actually caught up very well, Durhamites, having scored 0 in round 1, and it can definitely be turned around in round 4 because teams can lose points as well as winning them. So fingers on buzzers, teams. The first group are all an EU capital and a university that's found there. Poptimists.
Paris and the Sorbonne.
Correct. Poptimists.
Dublin and Trinity College.
Correct. Durhamites.
Roman Sapienza.
Correct. Durhamites.
Berlin and Humboldt.
Correct. Next category, fishy famous people. Poptimists.
Ken Loach.
The English film director. Correct. Durhamites.
Nicola Sturgeon.
The Scottish First Minister. Poptimists.
Rosamund Pike.
The actor. Poptimists.
Julian Bream.
The classical guitarist. Next category, things that are the deepest. Poptimists.
Death Valley.
Lowest part of North America. Poptimists.
The First Cut.
In the Rod Stewart song. Poptimists.
Lake Baikal.
Very good. Poptimists.
Hampstead Tube Station.
Is the lowest on the London Underground. Next category, books by Paul McKenna. Durhamites.
I Can Make You Thin.
Yep. Poptimists.
Change Your Life in 7 Days.
Correct. That's it. It's the end of the quiz. And looking at the final scores, storming to the semi-finals with 30 points, it's the Poptimists. Very well done. And noble second with 18 points, Durhamites. Very good recovery from the early round. Very good quizzing from you all series. But sadly, time to say goodbye. Thanks so much for playing, Poptimists. We'll see you in the semi-final. Thanks very much for watching. And coming up next on BBC Two, in a change to the published schedule, in another of his wonderful travel shows, Michael Portillo ascends the Peshawari hills that gave their name to a celebrated Asian trade route. As always, with his own personal spin, really making the land his own. That's up Michael's Khyber next on BBC Two.